Welcome to Spiritual Happy Hour, where spirit is finally served. Or we serve spirits, something like that. If this is your first time with us here, thank you for sharing your time with us. We are so happy that you've decided to join us. And if you don't know what this is, it is not quiet. It's anything but quiet. Each month we gather here for a message. Marilyn and I present a little message of something that's happened with us according to A Course in Miracles usually, and also a few laughs inspired by Marilyn because she's really funny, and Adironda.
Adder who?
Adironda. Remember Adironda and the Council of Light. And if you joined us a little bit earlier, you probably got to experience the amazing one-take wonder. If you notice, Master Randy Luna was playing the music, and one take. I mean, he does that. He just like makes it up.
He does make it up.
It just comes from God.
It does. It's a God thing. Or a love thing.
Oh, yeah. It could be love. We'll have to ask him.
We do have a short message, a brief intermission, and then we regroup with more beautiful music from Randy Luna.
Then a message from Adironda and the Council of Light in regards to whatever crazy thing we decide to talk about tonight. So if you don't know who Adironda is, they are a spokesbeing for a council of mostly masters that once walked the planet, and they are from the 17th dimension. And they chose Marilyn, also known as the Vessel, to be their voice and body and
yes.
arms and face holes and ear holes and all kinds. We could go on and on about that.
We could go on and on about that. And, you know, it's so exciting because all the things that I've learned over the years show up on a regular basis. You know what I mean?
I think that's called wisdom.
I don't know. Much I learned about life, I actually learned while camping in the beginning.
Wait. You went camping?
I know. It's a shock.
Were you forced to go?
You know, I actually volunteered to go.
Was it like a 2-star hotel?
No. I mean, I know. Camping to me is like a Motel 6 or something. But please don't sue us, Motel 6. I love them. But I did go camping with Norm and Patty in the crystal mines near Mount Ida.
Wow, that sounds like quite a story.
It is quite. Do you mind if I tell it to you?
I don't mind. In fact, I'm curious.
You know, I learned so much about life. I just want to read a little bit from A Course in Miracles. Is that okay?
It's okay with me.
Okay, hang on just a second. Little set change here. Just listen to this. Peace in my mind. Let all my thoughts be still. Now do we wait in quiet. God, or love, is here because we want together. I am sure he will speak to you and you will hear him or her. Accept my confidence as yours. Our minds are joined. I mean, isn't that beautiful? So here I was camping, and I had not learned of A Course in Miracles yet. This was years and years and years ago, but I was still camping. So let me just paint the picture. Norm and I and Patty, Norm and Patty were married. They had a camper, and they invited me to go down to stay with them in their camper. And I was thinking of like a 40-foot RV or something like that. Well, it was like the back end of a truck camper, not even being drugged by the camp truck. It was on the truck. So they brought a little pup tent for me. The operative word is little. I'll get to that in a minute, though. So now just picture me sitting on this teeny tiny, minuscule camp stool, looking out over mounds of dirt infused with crystals. Over the dirt, you could see the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas. And there was a kind of a blue mist going on them, and a cloud that was kind of in the middle of the mountains. And the mountains are like this amazing, dark, rich green trees. It was just phenomenal. And I sat there and I thought, this is one of life's lessons. Sit in the silence every day and sit in nature every day if at all possible. It was beautiful. Lesson number 1. I actually have 6 lessons that I learned, so stay tuned. Later on that evening, the sun had gone down, and it was actually supposed to be a big full moon that night. The sun had gone down, and we were sitting around the campfire, and we just smelled the best things cooking over the campfire. Something about eating food cooked over an open fire, it just tastes better. And here we were sitting there talking and laughing, and all of a sudden I looked up and I saw this amazing moon shining through the trees. And I said, "Oh, look at that moon. It must be like a super moon. It's so beautiful." Norm, as only Norm can, looked at me and looked up at the moon and looked at me and looked up at the moon again and said, "Marilyn, it's the light." And I'm like, "I know. It's so luminescent. It's so beautiful. It's so light." And he said, "No, Marilyn, it's the light. It's the street light." Lesson number 2. Things are not always what they seem. There are 2 sides to every story. I saw a big full moon. Norman saw actual reality, which was a street light coming through the trees. So that's something to remember. Then the next lesson, Norm and Patty had gone to bed in the camper, and I was sitting there watching the fire and wondering where the full moon was going to come up, and just really absorbing the amazing crystalline energy. I have to say, there's just something different about the crystalline energy in Mount Ida. It is spectacular. And I went to go to bed in this tiny tent. Now, just to make sure you know, we had not dug that day. I was there dressed in jeans that were too tight, and I was crawling into this tent that was almost as big as a postage stamp. It was probably, I don't know, 2 feet, 3 feet. It seemed like 6 inches off the ground, and I was climbing into it. And they had a battery-operated lantern, and I turned on the battery-operated lantern, and of course, it did not work. And I shook it and beat on it a while, and it still did not work. And so here I am, laying down, trying to scooch off my jeans, which are too tight. And I thought, I don't have to do that. There's a full moon outside. I could get dressed outside because it was dark in the tent. So I stepped outside under the full moon. Norm and Patty were way sound asleep by then. And I just started to take my clothes off, brought my pajamas outside of the tent so I would know where they were. And I took my jeans and threw them inside, took my shirt. And here I was, just as God created me, naked under the full moon. Do not imagine that, just to let you know. Don't imagine it. But I was out there. It was so beautiful and so wonderful. I heard voices. Right. Voices, and I thought, am I hearing my guides? Am I hearing my spirits? Adironda, is that you? And then the voices got louder. And then I heard music. I thought, I don't think God plays rock music. And lo and behold, coming out of the woods, out of the wilderness, while I was stark naked, luminescent under the full moon, two guys came with a boom box walking through the woods. So, needless to say, I dove into the tent. And of course, that's when the light decided to work. And I was trying to find my pajamas because I didn't know if they saw me. I mean, I don't know how they could have missed me. But I was working through that whole series, and that's when I realized my third lesson. Always expect the unexpected. That is very powerful. Now, there's a lot of energy around expectations. Lots of thoughts. I mean, expect the unexpected. Let go of your expectations. Expect a miracle. You know, I found a quote in A Course in Miracles. I'm going to read that to you as well. So hang on just a second. You know, if you've never read A Course in Miracles or studied it, it's really quite profound, and it's beautifully written, channeled information. So this is what A Course in Miracles. One of the things it says in the opening, the first chapter. This is verse 44, 47, and 49, and what they say about miracles. The miracle is an expression of an inner awareness and acceptance of Christ. The miracle is a learning device that lessens the need for time. It establishes an out-of-pattern time interval, not under the usual laws of time. The miracle makes no distinction amongst degrees of misperceptions. It is a device for perceptions. It is a device for perception, correction, effective, quite apart from either the degree or the direction of error. So I knew that was not an error for me to be out in the woods, naked under the full moon, while two boys walking up out of the clear blue with their boombox. So there I was in the tent, feeling around for my pajamas, finally found them, and I realized that where I was and what I was doing was actually that miracle. I expected, to sleep in the camper or an RV. I expected lots of other things. That's where the let go of expectations comes in. And I said, I want a miracle tonight because I was vibrating so much sleeping on a crystal mound that I asked to have a really good night's sleep. Well, lesson 4, expect a miracle and you'll get it, because miracles are just a different perspective. And that's what happened. I had an amazing night's sleep, slept deeply, woke up with the first light, came out and started digging for crystals. It was beautiful. Now, I've dug for crystals before, and this was a long time ago, so I had done it 2 or 3 times by then. And I had bragged a little bit about the kind of crystals that I found. And I learned a lesson there: don't ever brag, because then you don't find anything. And I didn't. I dug for hours and didn't find anything. Now, Norman, who didn't really give a squat about crystals, was watching Patty and I digging for crystals and digging for crystals. Patty found a few. I found nothing besides yard rock. And Norm came out with a shovel. Now, we have digging tools that are like the claw that you use in your garden. He came out with a shovel. And he started on the side of one of these crystal mounds. And he was like a digging machine. And he was digging through all of the mud and the dirt, and he would reach down like he was picking up cherries or something. Cherries on a tree, aren't they? Well, stones. Picked up crystals and tossed them in my bucket. Picked up crystals, tossed them in Patty's bucket. And we got hundreds of crystals inside of, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of him digging. It was amazing. And I said, Norman, what are you doing? Why are you giving all your crystals away? And he said, because I love watching your faces when I find a crystal and put it in your bucket. Lesson number 5, be of service. When you are of service, everything else starts taking place all around you, and it's beautiful. Then, while we were crystal digging, now they had a glorified outhouse as the bathroom facility. I had gone in there that morning and the night before, and it was pretty horrifying. I mean, I didn't spend much time in there, but it was really not someplace you would necessarily want to go. It was a wooden building, kind of, with cracks through it, and there were spiders and bugs everywhere. Now, that's not the crystal mine that we go to again. But when I went into this outhouse, this latrine or toilet or whatever you want to call it, I did my duty. And when I came out, when I was getting ready to come out, there was a June bug. Now, I know this is weird because Joy asked me once if you're what I'm afraid of, and I'm not really afraid of very much, except for June bugs. And this June bug was flying all over in this outhouse. I don't know how. And then I tried to get out, and then the door was stuck. I was locked in. And so here I am, yelling in this outhouse, going on and on and on. Get me out, get me out, get me out. Because this June bug I knew was going to attack me. And finally, I burst through the door, tumbled out, lost my shoe, and started laughing. And I laughed so hard, they didn't even know I was stuck. So they didn't know what I was laughing at. But Norm and Patty started laughing too, because I was laughing so hard because I was trying to tell them I was stuck and being attacked by a June bug, which I know is ridiculous, but because June bugs don't attack. But tell my mind that. and I was laughing so hard. Now there were 20 or 30 people on the mine that day. We had not interacted all day long. We hadn't talked to each other. We hadn't connected with each other at all. But we certainly did then, because they started laughing. And they came over to see what was so funny. And when they started laughing and talking, then we all got together and we all started telling stories about camping and latrines and getting stuck somewhere you didn't know what to do. It was amazing how we all had this mutual story of laughter-filled joy of getting stuck somewhere. So lesson number 6. Laugh every day. It is contagious. You can't hardly listen to someone laughing without laughing yourself. I know, I hope my stories of camping didn't get away in the way of the lesson. If they did, here they are really quick. If you want to jot them down, you can. Lesson number 1, sit in the stillness, and if you can, sit in nature. Lesson number 2, things are not always as they seem. There are always 2 sides to every story. Number 3, always expect the unexpected. And number 4, expect a miracle, because then you'll get one. Number 5, be of service and laugh. Number 6, laugh every single day, because it is contagious.
I've never heard that story before.
You've never heard it?
That was great. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to hear what Adironda has to say about that. Now, has Adironda ever been camping?
No.
That you know of.
Unless they brought in the June bug. I don't know.
So now we're just going to take a brief intermission while you all get to listen to the magical music of Master Randy Luna and take note. It's a one take. Like, he is just playing as you're watching it. Special experience.
So it is good day to you, huh? And good day to you, and good day to you, and good day to you, good day to each of you, huh? Such a little story about camping, huh? The vessel Marilyn had not thought of that in many years. And the names have not been changed to protect the innocent. Patty and Norm, even though they're not still together as Patty and Norm, they are still both wondrous people. So, your information to assist in your evolution will come to you no matter what. You get the opportunity to recognize that. Many times lessons come to you, information comes to you over and over and over again, and you don't hear it until one time some light bulb goes on, and then it makes sense. We know with the vessel Marilyn, we were attempting to get her attention for a long time before she acknowledged us. And then we were there when she was on the crystal bed, sitting, waiting, experiencing the glorious natural beauty of Arkansas. And that is why we say to you, sit in nature. Bring forth that energy. For you see, many times you see something when you are out walking, when you are moving about in your world, that you may have missed otherwise. And the universe is bringing you sign after sign after sign to get your attention. We know that many times you might see a butterfly. We talked earlier about butterflies and flies and things like that. Forward of the lies is what they talked about. But that's another story. But with that energy, you see a butterfly and you know transformation is in your presence. You see a gopher, and you know sometimes you see a gopher hole probably, and sometimes you need to go inside and go into the dark places of your world to get the things that you need. Or you see nature and water flowing. Maybe you get in a kayak or an inner tube or a boat or something and float down the river so you can anchor, flow into your world. You see, there are indeed signs everywhere for you to learn. There are indeed messages all around you that Source has brought to you, that love has brought to you. It is a matter of just opening your perspective wide enough to see that the miracle of life is exactly where you are. You are a walking miracle. When you think of all of the things that had to fall into place for your existence, that's the miracle. When you think that all of the things that had to fall in place for the vessel Marilyn to be standing out naked under the full moon, don't imagine that, she says. Don't go there. But you see, that energy is about the beauty of being you. And that is power-filled energy. Anytime you are outside, there are miraculous moments all around you. Anytime you are inside, there are miraculous moments all around you, because that is the energy of this day, this time, this place, this experience. The planet Earth is shifting. There are more light plurkers. Play plus work equals plurk. Light plurkers on the planet now than there ever have been before. That is affecting the mass consciousness. Now, there are some that are pushing against it. There are some that are arguing with that consciousness of love. You see evidence of that in some of your news stories. When that happens, just send them love. Send all that are involved love, because that energy, as it is indeed coming through, is the new frequency of this planet, the new frequency of this place that you are living. So, dearest beings of light, we ask you to appreciate it. If you see a tree that maybe has branches that have long since died, know that that tree is also home for other animals and insects and woodpeckers. They need a home as well. If you see a space that isn't quite as beautiful as you would like it to be, you have the power and the ability to change that. The vessel Marilyn was driving along the highway the other day, and there was all kinds of trash on the side. And she thought, someone should pick that up. Well, she could do that. Yes, get one of those clippers that you pick things up so you don't have to touch anything. Put it in a bag and then deposit in the trash. For you see, it is up to you to make your planet the beautiful, honored Mother Gaia that she was designed to be. So be in nature. Get out. Sit and watch the water. Admire other people. Admire the differences that humans have. You humans, we know each one of you are so beautifully unique. We are indeed fascinated by that. Many galactic beings are fascinated by the uniqueness of each individual on your planet. Many galactics have evolved beyond the emotional state that you know. And they are discovering that that emotional state, love, some call it, help one species evolve. That is why those galactics are indeed watching you. How are you displaying your love? How are you showing your emotion in appropriate ways, in beautiful ways, in loving ways, in natural ways? You are created in the likeness of the source of all that is. That source is in every cell of your body. So when you complain about your body, know that you are complaining about source. When you are embracing your body and the nature that is all around you, even though it may be a dead branch on a tree, when you are appreciating that, you are appreciating the love that is radiating from you. And when that happens, the planet shifts. So please, go into nature. Go camping. Go crystal digging. Go playing. Wherever you are, there is beauty around you. Open your eyes and look. It is there. We love you deeply. We see you. We know you. And we bid you namaste. Namaste.